What's up, everybody? JP here, back with another video. Getting it here real quickly. I was just at day 2's pre-release to Legacy of Destruction, and after 15 years, I completed a deck, and I think it's going to be really good for this year. That's right, Lightsworn, just like you see up there. This is going to be one of those quick videos that I just give you a bit of a deck profile and a little introduction to it. I don't have any combo videos just yet, but I just want to go ahead and get it up there. Sorry I've been gone so long. Had a little bit of like business and my other job to deal with. That's okay. I'm here right now. We're going to go ahead and get right into the video. Stay tuned. Getting right into the nitty-gritty, just so I'll go ahead and make sure that you guys are watching. There's a little bit of a glare on my camera. I don't know how to clear it, so I'll figure out how to do that later, but it should not disturb anything about this video. Maybe it's the heavens telling me that Lightsworn might be the ordeal. So let's get right into the deck profile. Start with one Judgment Dragon. Judgment Dragon is definitely the biggest staple of all time for any type of Lightsworn playability. Card's so good, pay 1,000, destroy the board. May not be that good now after 15 years, but still just seeing this being special summon after having 4 Lightsworns with different names in the graveyard, still wonderful in my opinion. And its counterpart that we haven't seen in a while, Punisher Dragon. Nobody ever played this card. It was so bad, nobody even wanted to even give it a chance. But now we have an ability to go ahead and make sure that we can only use this with 4 banished Lightsworns with different names. And there's a card that helps us do it. But in generosity, its effect is not that bad. You take everything that's in graveyard and banish by paying 1,000 and put it back in the deck. So not only do you get a chance to play even further, makes your opponent wonder, well, all of my effects were basically in the graveyard. I don't have a playability now. The difference between Judgment Dragon and Punisher Dragon is a quick effect, so you can do it on your opponent's turn right away. So it's not as bad as people think. So give it a chance. I'd say Punisher Dragon is one of those cards that's just super good going into this new archetype. Next we have 3 Felice. I wonder if any of you have even played this card 1, 2, or even 3. Now you can play all 3. My opinion is this. Having to play all 3 in this situation gives us the ability to get tuners out on the board. Not only that, we have rank 4 plays that we can do with Z monsters. So I believe this little big girl, little cat girl that you all like, is going to give you more of a justifier. It's a good tuner. It's a good level 4. It has 2,000 defense. If you do decide to use its ability, you tribute this card and you destroy 1 card on the field. So, you know, not so bad as you think it is, but if you just need general synergy and being able to summon monsters, this is the best way to do it. Next on our list here, the big bad wolf. That's right, 3 wolf. Can't say no. 2 monsters give it the ability to even play even faster. You don't need to just rely on Foolish Burial. I believe this card is definitely just too good not to run at 3. I've seen multiple builds that do 3, so just keep it like that. If you happen to find yourself in a dead situation with the cards that I have in here, it shouldn't be that dead, and it gives your hand more of a playability if you do it. Next on our list, brand new right out of the gate, we have 3 Lightsworn Archery. This is one of the guys that I was telling you about that definitely gives us the ability to put Wolf back into the deck, or even Felice, and then we get to throw it off the deck to the graveyard. Any Lightsworn in general, but just those 2 because we're focusing on the synergy of the deck getting us synchro beats or rank 4s in that situation. Even with monsters in here, I can even go even higher, but I'll show you here in just a moment. Just at least letting you know that this card is really good. If it gets sent from deck to graveyard, you'll be able to go ahead and summon a Lightsworn that's already in there back to the field. So I think that's really wonderful in a sense. And last but not least, in the Lightsworn genre, we run 3 of our Lightsworn Dragon Link. This dragon's so good, it just makes me want to play 3. I wish I had the Quarter Century because it just looks awesome, but this is fine for now. I believe this card will go even higher than even pre-sale right now. because of the fact that it's just really good. When you get special summoned, you're allowed to throw away a Lightsworn in the deck to the graveyard. As long as you have a Lightsworn in the graveyard, you're good. So it's just general good response. This card just makes me happy. If it gets sent from the field to the graveyard, or just in general, if it gets sent to the graveyard, you're able to go ahead and utilize searching for the Punishment Dragon or Judgment Dragon, or any dragon in general if it's 3,000 attack, 2,600 defense. Right now I think it's just those two. But no worries, it's still really good. This card is just amazing, and I want you guys to play it if you're able to. There's a lot of budget Lightsworn decks out there, so you should be able to use it. You don't have to go high rarity. Just wait till August when we get the re-release of Flight of Destruction. You can just go from there. Next on my build, at least from what I've seen so far as generosity, we have 3 Revolution Synchron. Revolution Synchron is just really good. You can't say no to this one either, because of the simple fact that it's a tuner. You can use a level 4 on the field or any level in that general to go into a level 7, 8, or Power Tool Dragon. Now, the reason I say you can go into any level, if you have a level 5 on the field, you can make that a level 8, and you just go into your Synchro 8 plays. I was thinking about running the Thunder Dragon build in here. I still have a little bit to think about, but as far as this card is concerned, it's still really good because you can just Synchro with a dead card in your hand. Or sorry, with a monster on the field that you think is not going to be utilized right away, or if you don't have the combo play ready, you can at least Synchro. At the same time, if it's in the graveyard and you control a Synchro or Power Tool, you can throw 1 card from the deck to the graveyard in order to summon it again, but it becomes level 1. So that's also really good in speculation because of the fact that you're able to get another play on top of that situation. So 3 Revolution Synchron is really good. Part of the engine that I do here is basically, your Horus package. You got 3 M setting, you got 1 Dual Motif, and then you got 1 Happy. I play 5 because I definitely just need to see it. I don't care what happens at this point, but Horus does not simply just need Happy at that moment. Dual Motif also helps too to get you some draw if you're able to keep up with Accordance. The simplicity of the level 8s is to go even higher, and that's to the extreme, but I will show you in another video. Actually, I might just show you now exactly how I can do it and get a build or a board that's very hard to break as long as you're not like negated in that sense. So let's just go ahead and say that these 5 are really good. Next up on our list, just one-offs. It's really good. 1 Medora, 1 Keldo, and then 1 Blackwing Zephyros. Minor damage is definitely suitable in this situation. You just take 400. You can return like the King Sarcophagus that you would play, put it back in your hand, replay it, but you would get a free level 4. So if you just normal summon this, not only do you get 2 level 4s for the same guy, but that can only be done once per duel, which is a-okay. The Medora and Keldo just recycle your synergy or your engine that you're normally using, which is your Weiss, your Lightsworn Dragonling, your Felice, and Wolf. You just put them all back, and then you just continue to play. For spells, we just go ahead with the simple, logical reasoning. We run 3 Charge of Labor Game. You don't see yourself playing 1. It's not back in like 2010 when this card was just really broken, and you just go and play 1. Even with it being played at 1, I remember Grass is Greener. If we had this back when Grass is Greener, I think it would just blow the water out and you would just OTK your opponent. But having Charge of Labor Game is still really good. Mill Street to Graveyard, Search of Lightsworn. Any of the 3 cards could be possible your engine, and you just continue to play. Also up on our list, 3 Solar Recharge. Solar Recharge is your draw power. More simpler than Charge of Labor Game. I see Charge being negated a lot more to mill the graveyard, but also the draw, because you're able to mill 2 off the graveyard. You don't want to do too much milling, which is why I don't run the other Lightsworns and Raiden in this build. I don't run Lumina or anything like that because they're off numbers, and Raiden is just too many tuners. You just want to be able to logistically keep it very minimal when you're playing this type of build. Of course, 2 King Sarcophagus. if one gets milled to graveyard, at least you have the other one. And that's why I said that, having 5 of the Horus copies, basically, one of each, except the bird, is good. The bird's only good if you're able to make sure that your Horus monsters are not destroyed by targeting. But that doesn't matter. I mean, if you're just able to get a level 8, it's just another target. But Dwalling Teeth is really good for targeting. So that's why I keep it that way. 2 tuning, that's how you're searching Revolution Synchron. I don't see anything wrong with that. That's how you're able to get it. 1 card goes directly to graveyard after searching. So that's still good. 1 Foolish Burial, and then 1 Synchro Rumble. I think you already know why the Synchro Rumble is here, but I will show you if you don't know. But at the same time, the Synchro Rumble is really good because if you have a level 7 or 8 Dragon Synchro in the graveyard, or even a tuner, it says a tuner, it doesn't have to be like a Dragon tuner or something you use that turn. You can special summon it in defense, and then you can't special summon from the extra deck except Synchro, which is predominantly what this extra deck is. If any of your Synchros will be destroyed or sent to the graveyard by battle or card effect, banish it from the graveyard instead. Still a good card. For our traps, best one that I've seen so far, Breakthrough Skill. I don't think Infinite Impermanence is that great. I mean, it's still good, but if you're milling to graveyard and you don't get this right away, you still have an ability to negate. So it's like Imperm anyway on crack. So if it's in graveyard after milling and you don't get your play, and your opponent tries to start doing something to start negating, you can actually go ahead and banish this from graveyard on their turn and then be able to negate. It's a chainable card because it's a trap. So you don't have to wait for any, turn manipulation. If you have it like face down on the field and then you activate it on your turn, then cool. But you have to wait until a succession turn has been resolved in order to use its graveyard effect. So that's still good. Breakthrough Skill is just one of those cards that's just it's going to see some play. And for me, I still like it. I think it's a great card. Next on our list, brand new trap card. I love it. You should too. Lightsworn Aegis. Lightsworn Aegis is really good because if it gets built to graveyard, you can set it on your field. And at the same time, you can get any card as long as you control Lightsworns up to that number. So as an example, if you control 2 Lightsworns, you negate 2 cards, basically. And for the way the Tipeye works, you negate their field spell and probably their monster. It shuts it off completely. They have to basically wait. They don't get all the effects from their field spell, or they can't capitalize off of it. So I think this is really wonderful. You stop Snake Eyes in its path. You stop Voiceless if they don't have the load to keep the negation going, so on and so forth. So I think Lightsworn Aegis is like super good in that respect. And then the last word, of course, is Vanadium reframing, because it's a solemn judgment if you have a synchro. Basically, if you have it correctly. But let's go in the extra deck and I'll explain why. For our extra deck, we basically have a level 7. We start off with Michael. Michael's so good as a level 7, you just can't say no. You pay 1,000, banish a card on the field. If any of your Lightsworns are in graveyard and that goes to grave, you shuffle that many and gain life points back by 300 each. And then if he's still on the field, you can send the top 3 cards off your deck to the graveyard, just like a Taboo Lightsword, but it's just another target. So that way it makes Judgment Dragon that much easier. If you're playing with Bestial and then you try to remove that Lightsworn, cool, you now have a target for Punishment Dragon. So think smart. It's really good, and I think it's very, very wonderful. I can also turn this into Bestial Sworn, which a lot of people are wanting in this respect, and I think that would be the best strategy for Lightsworn. I just wanted to show that Horus can also be played if you do it right, and I think this will do it too. And that's it for the level 7. For our level 8s, we're going to go ahead off the obvious. Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, of course, like I said, you go into Michael, and then you bring back Revolution Synchron, and then you Synchro into Crystal Wing. So that's your monster negate because Baron is gone. Monster negate stops the Nibiru from coming out, so you continue to capitalize off and play. You don't really need no more than that. It just slows them down to where you can possibly do the OTK that I'm about to show you. For the other level 8s, we have one Cyframe Omega for hand manipulation and drop off. We have one Enigmaster Pack Bit, because you can get monsters back from the graveyard and put them in the spell and trap card zone. And if this gets in the spell and trap card zone, you can just move it up, special summon. You don't even have to worry about that, because this card can still come back. It's just really good. I think it's great. One Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend, because you go into time in tournament and you just blow up monsters and they take 500 for each one in attack mode. I think that's great. Devices, what's his name? Armatara. Devices Armatara searches the Manadium quick counter trap. Get the setup face down. It's also a tutor, so if you have an 8 and a 4, it's a 12. I think you know where I'm coming from. And then the last but not least on our list, one Minerva. Minerva is really good in this situation, and I was very grateful to go in with my friend in half a box. Minerva just makes it more easier to utilize your graveyard properly. If it's your turn to use Synchro for 8, you can send Lightsworn from your deck to the graveyard up to the material when it's Synchro summoned. At the same time, you get their effects. So it's very genius when I say that this card is just super good. You can banish Lightsworns in your graveyard to be able to throw more away in the graveyard. It helps Punishment Dragon. So if you think the Punishment Dragon is just a better card in that situation, I would go that route. If you don't think Punishment Dragon is good in that route, it's still a great card because of the fusion. So this is what I would do. One Chaos Angel. I've seen myself go into other monsters and I've actually made a 10. So Chaos Angel is definitely the best synchro at this point right now, because it helps your other synchros be unaffected, not destroyed by battle, that situation. So it's really good. And then last but not least, our trinity of level 12s. We have our Super Hairy Brave Monsterano. We have our Crimson Dragon, and then we have our Heart Dragon, King Calamity. So this is what I was telling you about when it came to how everything plays out. King Calamity is just one of those OTKs that you would do on your opponent, and if he can't stop you in your first turn, this is just too amazing not to play right off the bat. So this is kind of an easy answer in that sense for the synchros. Last, in this situation, we have our rank 4s. We have one Abyss Dweller, we have one Minerva, and we have number 60. These cards are already generally good. You stop your opponents from doing stuff in the graveyard. You have Minerva to help you draw, and if it goes away, then you can just mill again and destroy. And then this one just helps you withdraw. I think it's just great. It's really, really good. So I think it's great. And then last but not least, we have one Enlightenment Dragon. Enlightenment Dragon is just too good. Pay $2 grand to banish everything. So that's just ripped right off the bat. If you're playing against Thunder Dragon, don't summon this. But at least in my generosity, this card is just super good. It's quick effect, it can be done on either turn, and it interrupts your opponent from doing anything. If your opponent were to get rid of this card in any way, shape, or form, you take any Punisher Dragon or Judger Dragon that's out of play, add it to your hand first, and then special both, ignoring summoning condition. So it's just really good to even just play one. I've actually seen them build where they ran 3, just because it just keeps coming back. Opponent is very scared of this card, depending on the deck, and it helps you get out the 2-3,000s. So I believe that this is affordable in this situation. Going into that profile, I will show you a bit of strategy that you can use. So stay tuned for that. I just want you guys to know that there's plenty of ideas that you can run Lightsworn in this format, many avenues. So keep an open mind and enjoy the game. Alright, so as a combo part of this video, I want to go ahead and show you that this could be a starting hand that you guys can use. It's a really good coin first hand, and if you are in that situation, this is just amazing. So what you would normally want to go ahead and do to get everything out of the way here is start off with your initial play. So you want to play Tuning. Tuning searches for the Revolution Synchron that I'm adding, and then being able to mill one card from the deck to the graveyard. So let's do that. So we shuffle, basically you see right here, and then we're going to mill the one card directly to the graveyard. So Felice goes to graveyard. Can't come out to the field because of the fact that it's not done by a monster effect. That's okay. Next, you want to go ahead and search for a monster since you want to charge a Light Brigade. So you're going to mill 3. 1, 2, and 3. So the charge a Light Brigade, basically doing its conditionary ability, you want to go ahead and move this over here so that way you guys can see. You want to search for Wolf at this point. So you're going to have Wolf in your hand. And the only reason I say you're going to have Wolf in your hand is because of what I'm about to do as far as the combo that can be done. Now, since I'm sure you saw in the shuffling of this situation, Wolf went to graveyard, and so did Lightsworn Aegis. So this is chain block that I can tell you about. So you go Lightsworn Aegis into Wolf. So chain 2, chain 1. The only reason I say this is because a lot of chain block happens when, like, if they have like DD Crow and they try to, well, DD Crow can target, never mind. But you just want to go ahead and do it like this. So you get Aegis face down, or Aegis face down. So you have another card, and then you go into Wolf to special summon. So Wolf gets special summoned right away. You have a breakthrough skill in graveyard for next turn, but that won't matter, at least with this hand that you just received going into your situation plays. Next, you want to go ahead and put Weiss on the field. You want to put Wolf on top because I'm going to do something. So you want to put Wolf on top to special. So you get Weiss, and then you mill 2 to graveyard. 1, 2. So you get Wolf again. You get special summon. Next, at this point, you want to go ahead and, because you got 3 summons, so you want to be careful here. So you're going to go Revolution Synchron. You're going to send Revolution Synchron to graveyard and 1 Wolf in order to go into Myco. So this is summon 4. Then you want to Revolution Synchron by milling 1 card from deck to graveyard in order to bring back Revolution. So you want to be very advised of this situation. This could be a time that you get Nibiru, but you also want to go maybe 1 turn behind before putting Wolf back on top, because you search the Revolution Synchron. You already have the combo lock. So you go into Revolution Synchron and you send Myco to graveyard in order to summon our Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. So Crystal Wing is the card, or the blocker that I was mentioning about, that stops the Nibiru play. Now, you want to go ahead also, at this point you only have 2 cards left, but you're able to do a lot. Now you're going to go ahead and activate Lightsworn Dragon Link and special summon it. When it gets special summoned, you're going to throw away a monster, and it has to be a Lightsworn. So we'll just say we threw away Weiss. Now Weiss is in graveyard. It's going to now activate its effect. The effect is targeting a Lightsworn in the graveyard and special summoning it. So let us go ahead and target the Felice we threw away, and we're going to special summon the Felice. So now we have 5 monsters on board. Pretty cool, right? It's really, really good. So now at this point in our game, now that we have all 5 on the field, and we move that, we're going to go ahead and synchro. So we're going to go ahead and use the Felice and the Lightsworn Dragon Link in order to go into our Minerva. Minerva's really good right now because it's just too good. So now you have Dragon Link's effect to go off to get the JD. So we're going to go ahead and get Judge Dragon. Wherever you are, come on out. Judge Dragon, perfect. Now at the same time, like, we check our graveyard. I don't think any of the Madura or Kelda went in there for an additional play, but that's okay. It is fine. So you have the Minerva on play, and now you want to use her effect because it's also going to go ahead and trigger out something. So when it's synchro summon, you can send Lightsworn monsters of different types from deck to grave. That's the number of Lightsworns. Use this material. And then you can banish 4 from the graveyard and send that many cards off the top of the deck to the grave. So this is how we do it. we're going to go ahead and send another Lightsworn Dragonling, and we're going to go ahead and send Wolf to grave. Wolf will then special summon. So now we synchro again. We go using Wolf and Weiss, drag them into the graveyard in order to search out Vysis Amatara. With Vsauce Amatara's out, we search for the Vanadium Quick Play. And by this time, your opponent should have already debuted, but he's not going to be able to because you already have pretty much a good standpoint of monsters out there to lock them out. And you have 2 Lightsworns out as well for the trap card that you set. So you get to set. Now, at this point, you want to go ahead and special Judgment Dragon because you just basically have everything. This also can make Ultimaya Tzolk'in if you think about it, because you have the Judgment Dragon and the Vsauce, and it just goes into using the same levels, 1 tuner, 1 non-tuner. This also makes the level 12 that I mentioned. Since you have no hand, you can actually use the Vsauce Amatara and the Wolf in order to go into Super Heavy, or you would go into Crimson Dragon. So now that you have Crimson Dragon out, you search out the card that I mentioned. You search out the Synchro Rumble, because when it's Synchro Summon, you can get 1 Synchro card that mentions Crimson Dragon on it and add it to your hand. Now that you have this card, you basically play Synchro Rumble. You can do a whole lot. So you don't just basically have to sit on this board at all. You've already used Minerva, so you're good to go, and you can send that many cards off the top of the deck to the graveyard. So let's bring back Weiss. It's a tuner, so it's fine. So I'm going to activate Minerva, and we're going to move Crimson Dragon up one, so that way you guys know. So Crimson Dragon's in the extra monster zone, so that way we have an extra main monster zone to come out. So I'm going to go ahead and activate Minerva to banish 1 Wolf, 1 Weiss, 1 Dragonling, and 1 Felice, because we still have targets. We have plenty in our graveyard. And we're going to mill that many to the graveyard. 1, 2, 3, 4. So not anything that we would definitely or desperately need, because if Zephyros was thrown away in the graveyard, we basically have an immediate lock, and it's like completely good. So we're not going to worry about that. We will use JD, and we will use Weiss, and then we will go ahead into Super Heavy Maserado. And like I mentioned before, that's pretty much your lot on your first turn. You can still do a monster negate, but it won't matter because you'll summon King Calamity on your turn. You have Minerva out that has Lightsworn negation. It's just really good. And then you have the Vanadium, which would negate an effect anyway because it's a counter trap. So this is good first turn situation. Then you use Crimson Dragon to target the Maserado. You return Crimson Dragon back to the deck. You summon the King Calamity and activate its effect on your opponent's turn. Wonderful strategy. It's an OTK. You can't do nothing about it because they should have already negated. If they didn't, that's fine. You got this far right away, and this is just the pure Lightsworn board. Like I said, you didn't get the Horus out, but the combo is still available in this situation. So tell me what you think. If you actually like this combo, it's really good. Please throw a thumbs up, give a comment, give a shout out, spread it to your friends, whoever wants to come back and play an old format of 2008 with the best archetype that time and bringing it into 2024. But again, JP here. Please subscribe to the channel. Thanks again for watching. Peace.